Thanks, Andy. I have to say that why I encouraged the session to come into existence became very clear this morning, so that part of my introduction is already done for me. I went to a talk a few months ago where there were several high school students, and I was really awed and inspired. And so we did some pretty hard work to reach out to high schools around the entire Bay Area to find 3 students who will give you a very brief, their own words about how they see climate change and our estuary here. And they'll get up one at a time and speak. First will be Paloma Siegel from the Marin School of Environmental Leadership, Reginald Corti from Oakland High School's Environmental Science Academy, and Diana Gomez from Woodland High School and also part of the UC Aggies Mentor Program. Thanks very much. Paloma?
Hi, my name is Paloma Siegel, and I am a sophomore at the Marin School of Environmental Leadership in San Rafael. I would like to thank everyone here for allowing me to speak today. At my school, we aren't babied. Reality isn't drowned in high fructose corn syrup and spoon-fed to us, and the truth of climate change is not withheld. For example, we watch Al Gore's The Inconvenient Truth and read Bill Buchanan's Earth within the first 2 years of our schooling. We are taught the material that shapes our world perspectives and allows us to enter our ever-changing Earth. I'm here to speak my mind and to address you, but I'd rather not reiterate what we all know so well. I don't want to preach to you of the million issues on our planet or of how you can individually reduce your carbon footprint. I want to speak to the concepts and of the fundamental changes that need to occur in order for us to survive. The debt of yesterday's generations has been dropped on the shoulders of today's youth, and there is a mile-high expectation of saving the world on top of that. Now I ask, how can we be told to pick up after ourselves when all that surrounds us are the neglected messes that we didn't make? I say it is unreasonable to hand us a load too heavy to carry on our own and then denigrate us as we struggle under its weight. This debt cannot be passed on to us with the belief that those who made it play no role in fixing it. We each play a role in fixing our messes. The very state of being alive on this earth mandates that. The mindset at blame for our global crisis is one that inflates our superiority and undermines our humility and respect for our planet. We view her as a resource solely for our consumption, and we have lost the understanding of how we fit into the bigger picture. I am aware and angry at this current state of affairs, but in my anger, I am not blind. I see this audience, a wonderful crowd of people who do care, throwing your lives and careers into solving the issues that haunt our reality. And I thank you as people who are committed to working in tandem to help our planet. The only way for us to shift our ways is to cooperate with each other and to work not against nature, or even for it, but with it. Thank you.
Climate change. It's the legacy left to us after many years of reckless pollution. A large part of me gets mad whenever I hear these words, because in many cases, it's just treated as some topic that only tree huggers care about, or an issue that can be willed away if we just shut our eyes hard enough. I find it to be so much more than that. Within those words are a generation passing the baton to us, kids confused about a world that's going haywire when we did nothing wrong. And many, like me, are left to figure out how everyone else sees the issue. Personally, the whole spectacle scares me. Even simple things like turning on the news take on a whole new meaning when you're bombarded with stories of how there's some sort of natural disaster going on. California, for example, is being plagued by wildfire while in the middle of one of the worst droughts it's seen in a very long time. And every day I find myself increasingly dumbfounded when I browse media and I see the indifference, willful ignorance, or outright denial that this is something we should be worried about. To add insult to injury, we have many of the most powerful people in the country going to extreme lengths to show that the whole issue is just in our heads. And those are just the ones that don't want to face the undeniable possibility that they're the byproduct of an age that has bled the world dry. Even worse than them are the people who were put into power that know what's going on is wrong, yet do nothing because they profit from it. Living in the Bay Area makes this prospect take on a whole new meaning. The weather we're blessed with only makes us more aware of how bad things can get. That's my main issue. At every angle I try to look at this, everything looks so bleak. And I have to ask, why should it? When I was growing up, I had it in my head that anything was possible. I could be whatever I wanted to be because apparently we were living in some golden age where everyone's dreams came true. That fantasy was killed before I even knew what I wanted to be in life. What's been replaced by it are messages of how it's now our job to save the earth. And sometimes I feel as if that burden was left for my generation to lift alone. That's why I want to thank all of you in this room right now for being here. It's proof that you're on our side, that you think that making the planet a better place is worth it to be here. Things like this conference let me know that there's still hope and that we're actively working to try and make things better. And that's something, at least. Thank you.
My name is Diana Gomez. I'm 17 years old and I'm a senior attending Woodland High School. I am also a part of the UC Davis Aggie Mentor program. I wrote a quote that said, "The most important thing about global warming is this. Whether humans are responsible for the bulk of climate change is up to the scientists, but it's all of our responsibility to leave this planet in a better shape than we found it for future generations." This statement is completely true and inspired me to do my part to make a difference in my environment. I have recently embarked on a journey to learn more about the world I live in. While on this adventure, I have become more proactive towards protecting our ecosystems through a program at UC Davis called Aggie Mentors, which helps me make connections with environmental programs. It has come to my attention that there are many environmental problems occurring because of climate change. And a lot of people are not aware of them. These problems include sea levels rising. I am very concerned about sea level rising because I live close to the Sacramento Delta, and the impacts of climate change will affect me a lot. One of my major concerns is the stability of the man-made levees. Over 100 years ago, men built levees to help preserve the estuary's ecosystem. However, they are now starting to fail and will not withstand water rising. The odds of flooding are increasing, making this issue a major threat to the estuary. The levees have weakened over time and must be reinforced in order to protect homes from flooding. The estuary is also a vital part of our economy, as it has fertile land for agriculture and is a prominent habitat for many native species. If we do not get involved, the results will be catastrophic. Certain types of crops will become more expensive, as growing foods in this area will become uneconomical. Consequently, we will have less of these foods available to us, and thus will have to pay more for crops. Access to fresh produce will be threatened for many low-income families, which rely on the low-cost prices of produce to feed their families. However, there is something we can do to help preserve the estuary's ecosystem. But people need to become better informed so that we, as a society, can deal with the consequences of climate change. It is critical that we raise awareness to not only those in my generation, but to everyone. This is the only way we can fight climate change, and we need everybody to get involved.